It was Christmas Eve when I scratched off my ticket and found out that it was a winner. So most gas stations were closed, but we did track down one that was open. My siblings and I all went to scan our tickets because they had won a few dollars too. And when they scanned theirs, it did tell them the exact amount that they had won. But when I scanned mine, it didn't tell me that I won 50 grand. It just said that it was a winner. However, I knew that it was 50,000 because it was one of those ones with a little code where if you get like these symbols in a row or something, then you win 50 grand. So I knew the amount. A lot of people have been asking if my mom wanted any of the money and she didn't. Like I offered, I guess I was confused. Like I wanted to keep the money, but then I was like, whoa, this is real right now. And it could have been anyone's ticket. Should I share? And they knew I wanted a house really bad. So they said, no, like if you keep all this money together, you can buy a house. And if we split it up, it's not really worth that much for us. So my mom didn't want any money and my siblings didn't either. Everyone was really supportive and accepting. It is like still funny. I talked to my brother about it and I think he might make a video in here with me to tell his side of the story because he's like, you cheated. And it's true. Like I changed the rules on my turn, which might be considered cheating. But he is really good humored about it and finds it to be a funny story and is happy with how I spent the money.
I tell people all the time that I won the lottery because that money is already gone. It's been a year. I used it to put a down payment on a house, and after all the fees and a few repairs, like, it's been gone. I'm back to living paycheck to paycheck, but it's fine because I have a house now. So that investment was really important to me and I'm proud of it. Even when I still had the money, I told people about it. There's one person I didn't tell, and that was my roommate at the time, but that is the only person in my life that I did not trust, knowing that I had a lot of money at that time. She did find out though, which caused a lot of problems, but you know, my siblings were there when I won the money and it could have been their ticket because the way that I won is my mom had a pile of these cheap scratcher tickets and we were taking turns throwing a beanbag into a bucket. And when you get the bag into a bucket, you get a ticket. On my turn, I missed, so I asked for another try and that's when I got it and I won the prize. And I was like, what do I do in this situation? Do I share it with my siblings? Like, am I obligated to? And I asked them and they said, no, keep your money for yourself. I really wanted a house at that time and they knew it. So they said, you can use this to get your house and that's what you should do. They have not once bothered me for money or made me feel bad about that. They just were happy for me. Of course, they wish that they won it, right? But like, my family was incredible. My mom is just like, wow, that's a great Christmas present I just gave you. So I'm very lucky to have a family like that. So I'm sitting in the lobby of the lottery office, and across from me is this safety glass and the secretary, and then behind her is a bunch of offices and cubicles. So a guy walks from back there into the lobby, and he sits down next to me, and he's like, I'm security, I gotta make sure this is legit. And I was like, okay. And he said, where did you buy this lottery ticket? And I said, I didn't buy the lottery ticket, my mom gave it to me. And then he said, okay, and where have you taken the ticket? And I said, I've taken it with me everywhere. I really don't want to lose it. And he's like, no, I mean, like, did you scan it somewhere? Like, give me a timeline. So I told him that I had taken it to the gas station. I scanned it there and it said it was valid. I scanned it a few times when I was there to like make sure. And that's it. Like, I had gotten it in this city and then I took it here to Boise. And he was like, okay, that checks out. You can have your money. And then he goes to draw up some tax forms. I have two choices, he says, to just take all of the winnings now and then pay my taxes later on my own, or they can take the taxes out of it now. And I chose that option. I wanted the taxes gone immediately because I didn't want to spend money that I didn't have. And I knew as soon as I won this money that I wanted to buy a house. So I just didn't want to take chances with having to pay a bunch of taxes later on and not having the money. The tax form that they give you is a type of W-2 where it shows your total winnings, which for me was $50,000. I had won the grand prize on a $5 scratcher. And then after the taxes that they took out, I was left with about $35,000. So that was my proof that I had paid taxes. And I thought that that money would be gone forever, like the money that I paid to taxes. But I was pleasantly surprised in the following tax season to find that I was going to get some of that back. Even Though I have won the lottery, I've never actually bought a lottery ticket. The ticket that I had that was a winner was a gift from my mom. And a lot of times when I tell people about this, they get excited and they're like, oh my gosh, I should go buy a ticket. And I'm like, okay, like that can be a fun thing to do, but it's also very dangerous for certain people. Like I know that I have addiction that runs all throughout my family. I also have bipolar 1, and so in manic episodes, I'm very inclined to do risky things and spend a lot of money. So I'm just not the type of person that can handle buying lottery tickets like randomly. I can't say that I never will, because I can imagine doing it every so often, I guess, in the future. The other thing I think about though is I've got this imaginary luck meter like in my head, and every time something lucky happens to me, I imagine it goes to 0, and then when I do good things, it fills back up to 100. And that was like a lot of luck meter points that I got from winning the lottery. So I just feel like I have to do more good before I get something really lucky like that again. So that's the other reason why I don't buy lottery tickets, is because I don't think my meter has refilled and I have too much addiction in my family. When I scratched off my ticket and realized that I had just won the lottery, my immediate thought was, this is too much money to get from the gas station. There's no way they have this in their register. So I looked it up on my phone and I found that if you win more than $1,000 in the state of Idaho, which is where I live, then you have to go to the actual lottery office, which is in Boise. And I was living in Boise at the time, but I wasn't there when I won the lottery because I was visiting family. I didn't want to wait days until I got back to Boise to see if this was a real ticket though. So I was like, okay, I guess I do have to go to the gas station. But I didn't want the gas station clerk to like scan it and steal it, and I didn't want people around me to know that this was a very valuable ticket. So I used one of the automatic scanners. The automatic scanner confirmed my wildest dream that this ticket was an authentic winner. So I stayed with family for a couple more days, and then I was so excited to get back to Boise and go to the office to cash in my ticket. I thought it was, I don't know what I thought actually. On TV, they give you a big check and they just like hand over the money. It's so easy. But when I got there, they were like, okay, go sit in the lobby. They had taken my ticket to the back with my ID and then just had me sit and wait for like an hour. And then they finally sent a guy out to come and talk to me. I won $50,000 off of a $5 scratch ticket, and I immediately knew I wanted to use this money to buy a house. But after taxes, the 50 grand turned into about 35 grand, which isn't enough to buy a house. So what I did is I searched the entire state for the cheapest homes that were still in livable condition. The cheapest one I found was $120,000. It was in a city that I had never been to before, and it's quite a small house, probably like 700 square feet. But it had a yard, it's on a cute hill, like it was so cute, I really wanted it. So I worked with the bank to get approved for a mortgage. I did that whole pre-approval process. Luckily, I have really good credit. So I got approved for that despite having a low income. And the other thing that really helped me out in this process is I had that big chunk of cash, so I could put forth over 20 grand as a down payment, which is a larger down payment than any of the other prospective buyers had. During the negotiation process, we talked the seller down to something like $117,000 for the little house, and then I forked over my 22 grand, I think it was, and that left me with enough money to pay the thousands of dollars in like home insurance and realtor fees and like whatever else. And now I have a cute little house that is over 100 years old. I pay a mortgage of $587 a month, which is amazing. I think I still owe like $90,000 on the house, but we won't worry about that right now. My lottery money was gone really quick, so I'm back to being poor, but I'm going to school and I love the city that I live in, and my dogs are really happy here, and I'm gonna make a garden. I'm gonna grow a garden, you guys. It's gonna be so fun. They really do give out big checks at the lottery office. I have mine right here. I'm not going to show you the actual details because it's got my legal name on it. But see, I didn't deserve a big check. Apparently I didn't win enough money for them. So I just got a medium-sized check. But they also give you a regular check that you can take to any bank. Now, I used to work at a bank, so I know that when people come in with lottery checks, normally it's a scam. And I really thought that the teller would, I don't know, investigate the check further or something, but No, she was just like, congrats. I've been with my bank a long time and I don't normally have suspicious account activity. So they made all my money available to me almost immediately. I wouldn't cash a check like that. Like, I don't know if you mean literally cash it, but I would have never cashed a huge check like that because it's not safe to have a large amount of cash. I prefer having the FDIC coverage, and I was really nervous about someone like taking my money. Maybe it's not a lot for other people, but $35,000 is a whole lot for me.